BMW's entry-level SUV, the X1, has been a big success for some time thanks to its agile handling, eager nature, and practical shape. The 2023 model has received a complete redesign that looks to be a comprehensive upgrade over last year's model, with improvements to its chassis, powertrain, and updated with a more modern design and the latest tech features. The GLA SUV is the sexy sibling of the slightly more practical GLB. What the sleeker GLA loses in cabin and cargo space, it makes up for with enhanced styling, which means it's the better choice for those who favor form over function in their SUVs. But does it have what it takes to take on the X1? Well, in this video, we'll take a closer look at their designs inside and out, pricing, and how they drive. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The 2023 X1 has changed in meaningful ways for its third generation. BMW has decided bigger is better, and has expanded it in length, width, and height, making it not just more spacious, but more solid going down the road. Its new face still looks distinctly like an X1. BMW's design team has kept the wide headlight look of the previous model, but with a smaller, almost square kidney grille, understated next to the flared nostrils of most of the current BMW lineup. The upmarket X-Line and M Sport models also get more aggressive front and rear fascias. BMW didn't simply upgrade body panels for a beefier appearance. The new X1 is 1.7 inches longer and 1 inch wider than its predecessor. It rides on a wheelbase that's 0.9 inches longer, and while that doesn't sound like much, the changes make the third-generation X1 one of the largest in its segment. Some crossovers feel more like lifted hatchbacks, but the new Mercedes GLA actually lives up to the SUV name. Up front, new reshaped headlights frame a single horizontal metal strip on the radiator grille, which didn't see that big of a change, and the overall softer lines stand in contrast to the sharp ones of the BMW X1. The side profile is characterized by smooth curves and a flowing roofline that enhances its slippery silhouette and gives the vehicle a sporty, muscular appearance. Out back, there are slim LED taillights with pleasant detailing that ties in neatly with the more expensive Mercedes crossovers and SUVs, which look more or less like scaled-down versions of the units found on the range-topping GLS. The GLA is smaller than the new X1 in all major dimensions, although its wheelbase is slightly longer. Overall, the design of both SUVs is aimed at giving these cars a refined yet sporty appearance that appeals to a wide range of customers. But if I had to choose, the BMW X1 is my favorite here. With almost a whole new exterior comes a whole new interior, or at least new to the X1. If you've been in the new 3 Series, its layout and design will look extremely familiar. Fortunately, it's a very good interior. The look is clean and uncomplicated. The dash is also low and aids in both visibility and making the cabin feel spacious. All the switchgear feels high quality with tight solid action. Though there are some plastics, they have attractive finishes and patterns. It's not quite up to the premium feel of the X3, but it's comparable to those in the XC40. One downside, however, is that the climate control can only be controlled through the touchscreen. As for instruments and infotainment, the restyling brings BMW's new curved display. It integrates the 10.25-inch digital dash and 10.7-inch center screen into one sleek panel. It's not the massive screen offered in the larger models, but it is right-sized for this cabin. iDrive 8, powered by BMW's latest operating system software, is part of the package and helps bring high-end features into the X1. This is a highly responsive infotainment system, thankfully, because BMW has said goodbye to buttons. Both wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. As for Mercedes, the cabin shares a substantial amount of its design and styling with the A-Class and CLA, which is fantastic news since those two sedans boast the best cabins in their segment. There are 3 circular turbine-style climate vents in the center stack above a set of physical climate controls. As expected, every touchpoint feels like it will last a lifetime. Mercedes scattered silver plastic pieces throughout the cabin, which contrast pleasantly with a plentiful piano black and black plastic trim. While the quantity of petroleum products in here is worrying, the quality makes up for it. The soft touch dash exhibits excellent fit, and the glossy surrounds of the climate vents feel solid. As for infotainment, it boasts the latest MBUX infotainment system, and from 2024, it will come standard with dual 10.25-inch displays, which remains one of the best hardware and software combinations on the market. It's relatively easy to learn, reconfigure, and eventually optimize, and Mercedes deserves credit for giving drivers so many ways to interact with the system. In fact, there are 4, including a voice assistant and touchpads that allow the driver to keep their hands on the wheel. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard. When it comes to interior space, the X1 has grown significantly with this generation, as we mentioned previously. Being both longer and wider, all this stretching pays dividends in all aspects of interior space. Sitting in the SUV's cabin, it certainly is more spacious and comfortable. The front passengers have lots of leg, head, and shoulder room, though the cushioning on the sports seats is too firm for a long drive. The rear seats are also stiff, and passengers may find the backrest angle too reclined, although the laid-back shape does make installing a child seat easier. Cargo space is generous, with a side net to store small objects. There is a total of 26 cubic feet behind the rear seats and 57 when they're folded. Although the GLA is smaller on the outside than the X1, they are virtually identical inside apart from some extra headroom in the BMW. There is adequate space inside for 4 occupants to ride around, and the seats both front and back are supremely comfortable, especially compared to BMWs. The back seat is a little small for larger adults, but still offers an inch more legroom. For its exterior dimensions, the GLA really amazes with its cabin space. As for cargo, it offers 15.4 cubic feet of space behind its back seat, which is 10 cubes less than the X1. With the rear seat backs folded, space increases to 50.5 cubic feet with a low liftover height, making it easy to load something heavy. As far as pricing goes, shopping for an X1 should be relatively easy, as there are no alternative engine or transmission choices. The X1 xDrive 28i starts at $39,100, which comes with many features including LED headlights, a power liftgate, and roof rails. Next is the X-Line with only a $600 increase, and the best-looking M Sport starts at $43,350. All-wheel drive is standard. Pricing for the 2023 GLA starts at a more reasonable $37,500 for a front-wheel drive 250 model. We think the AMG line package at $41,350 makes the GLA look its best. The panoramic roof is a $1,500 extra, while the performance-oriented AMG GLA 35 starts at $50,000. All-wheel drive is a $2,000 extra. When it comes to driving and handling, under the hood of the X1 is a good old gas burner, a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with changes to the combustion geometry and direct injection. It bumps power to 241 horsepower, up from 228 and 295 pound-feet of torque. The X1 at full power reaches 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. As for transmission, replacing the previous 8-speed automatic is a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox with wider ratio spread and allows coasting. If you want it on high alert for grabbing gears, the Sport mode shifts with more vigor, and the M Sport package provides paddle shifters that put the decision-making in the driver's hands. This powertrain is quiet and smooth in traffic and highway cruising, but a bit sluggish when asked to make high-speed passes or accelerate uphill. There is some turbo lag to be found here, even in Sport mode, which helped contribute to a relatively low 6.6-second pull from 5 to 60 miles per hour. For some strange reason, BMW has decided the new transmission doesn't need a park button. It actually matters. Not having a big and safe-looking P to put the shifter in before you open the door just feels wrong. You will probably get accustomed to it if you own one, however. As for the GLA, it offers 3 basic configurations. All are powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 2 separate AMG variations. The AMG GLA 35 makes 302 horsepower, while the GLA 45 puts out 382. These hotter GLAs are more fun, but they also cost far more, starting at $50,000. But since most will go for the 250, quietly and smoothly totaling away under its hood is the turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 that's shared with the CLA sedan and the GLB SUV. It makes 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque and is paired to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. On the road, the GLA 250 feels perky and quick, but its performance proved that it's not as rapid as the X1 with a 0 to 60 miles time of 6.8 seconds. Overall, the GLA's ride is impressively plush for a car riding on a short 107.4-inch wheelbase, even with the optional 20-inch wheels. It struggles with larger imperfections, but no more than its rivals. On smoother or only mildly pockmarked roads though, the ride is serene with excellent body control and little tire noise. Road noise from impacts was more prominent than we would like though, and there was a bit too much wind noise at freeway speeds. For buyers getting into premium cars for the first time, there are worse ways to do it than with the BMW X1 and Mercedes-Benz GLA. Comparing the two, the xDrive 28i competes with the GLA 250 4MATIC. The BMW is more powerful and quicker, and its standard curved display is on par with Mercedes MBUX. We also find the X1 to be more sharply styled, but that's a matter of personal taste. Let me put it this way. If you want a more engaging drive, even when it comes at the expense of comfort, then the X1 is your choice. But if comfort is your priority, then the GLA should be your pick.